Welcome to Freedom at the Crossroads. This is Tony from Freedom at the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure. I am a women's holistic fit lifestyle and empowerment coach and strategist, and my mission in life is to help free women from themselves, from society's crazy hamster wheels going nowhere. Break that conditioning that's been lying to you all this time, those little chains and hidden traps that we fall into every day, looking for self-validation on the external rather than the internal. Yes, ladies, yes. We are moving into a new year and we're literally days away. Some might say hours, depending on where you are living on this part of the globe or wherever else, rather. Yeah, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Today we're going to talk about what happens when women compromise, and it's really been a rant of mine for a number of years. Over the years, I have actually grown to detest and almost hate with a passion the word compromise. Because it seems the only ones throughout history who have really done the compromising, giving up of, and I guess why I hate it so much is because I've seen, over the course of history, and, women have been the ones who've given ground. And when you give ground, you give power away. Your own power. You give it away in exchange for something else or to satisfy something else. And so that's why I detest the word compromise. Because we women have been conditioned to believe that compromise is a good thing. You've all heard, that's a very good man. He has a good job. He has this, he has that. Never mind the fact that he cheats. He lacks communication skills, at least when it comes to you. And he usually does something to let you know that you're not number one in his life. But yet and still, you can change him. Hear that dog barking in the background? Yeah, that's those lies being called out. That's the dog barking in the background that you're hearing. Calling those lies out. The truth of the matter is, in order to be authentic, in order to be true to self, in order to hold on to your power and be everything that you were called to be, you cannot compromise. So it's really a load of BS when you hear compromise. Oh, he's not perfect or she's not perfect. You can work with that. How many times have you heard that? You can work with that. Like you can change somebody. Or, all you got to do, it might be a little rough around the edges, but you can work with that. Hear the barking dog in the background? No, you can't. You can't change anybody. You cannot mold anybody. What you can do is lower your standards by compromising. Now, we have been told that, you've all heard, I'm sure, even other women have told each other the same lie, repeated the same lie. That old adage of a lie repeated enough times begins to sound like the truth. And we've all had that auntie or wise woman in the family saying, your expectations are, I've heard it before. Your expectations are too unrealistic. Coming from traditional African culture, I heard it a lot back in the motherland. Your expectations are too high. Those are so unrealistic. You have to be willing to, uh, uh, you know, compromise. You must compromise. You must be a quote unquote good woman, good, wife. This is what a real, Nigerian woman, this is how, you do things, you work behind the scenes. You can work with that, you know. And looking back, I'm like, no, no, and no. And I say that now because I've done the compromising, and it leaves like an oil slick in your inner being when you compromise, when you give ground, especially when it's something that is intrinsic to you. That's what compromise is. There's a difference I see a difference between compromise and negotiation. Negotiation is a level playing field where two parties negotiate over a set group of things or items or situations or what have you, or, a set rule. They come together and they negotiate and say, okay, this is what's on the table. Let's decide together how we will move these pieces around. Compromise requires somebody being at a higher level, and then there's somebody at the lower level, a position of power and a position of less power. And that position of less power is usually you, the woman, because, that's quote unquote what tradition, culture, society says that women, good women do. You give ground, you compromise. Oh, be a lady. Oh, show class, be classy. Classy woman, she knows how to, let things go and things of that nature. BS. I say no to that, because what has that gotten women over the years? As a result of that, we've had movement. We as in rebellion to that, actually, in reaction against that, we have here the barking dog in the background again saying lies, lies, lies. And all of this compromise and giving of ground has led women to the boiling point where we've exploded into movements like the Me Too movement, the self-love movement, and the self-care movement. Women Too movements all across the globe, and all these activations of women rising up globally in various parts of the world, saying, no, enough is enough of giving ground. Because you know what happens when you continue to give ground? Eventually you fall off the cliff because there's nothing left to give up. So that's just one aspect you're dealing with right there. Another indicator of when women give ground, when you compromise, what happens? Another thing that happens when you compromise, you begin to see lack in yourself. You begin to pick at your imperfections like a bad rash, itchy rash. You begin scratching at yourself and saying, oh, what's wrong with me? Or you've all heard that. You've seen some of the most beautiful, we've seen it play out, even in celebrity relationships gone bad, and situations that have gone bad, exploded across the tabloids and across the news, where you see a beautiful, vibrant, seemingly successful and all put together woman, a relationship breaks down, the partner in the relationship is cheating. I'll hate to rag on men in this instance, but let's just use this relationship between them. We've had some high profile relationship breakdowns in the news over the last few years, and hear that barking dog again, and saying, we've all said it. Oh, She's so beautiful. What did the other woman have that she didn't have, that he cheated on her? Forgetting the completely discounting the truth and the actual reality of the situation, the objective lens. We just threw that out the water and focus on lack, where you perceive something is wrong with yourself because you've already compromised so much. So you're like, okay, what's wrong with me? What do I lack that I couldn't hold on to this person? And the reality of it is, it's not a question of you holding on to someone. It's a question of you giving ground, and you letting go of certain standards and acceptable behaviors. You've given up boundaries. You've given up your standards when you compromise. Because in truth, there are indicators that, something is not right with a relationship. Like, we've all heard the instances of where, you've seen it play out in TV and things of that nature. But we all know that, have that person, that woman that we know in the neighborhood, whose husband, everybody knew the husband was cheating on her. And lo and behold, she's suddenly shocked to find out that he cheated. And you hear things like, I had no idea that he was cheating. Hear the barking dog in the background? That's a lie. If she were being honest with herself, she had indicators, flags going off that something was not right with that relationship. Coming home late. Every time you called, no pickup on the cell phone. Oh, some excuse or other about working late. All of that. Or forgetting important events, family events, couple events, things of that nature. Giving ground. So those just a few things that happen when women compromise. What else? Well, obviously, we've all talked about I've already talked about the whole seeing lack in yourself, which is also tied to comparing yourself against others. And women throughout history have been conditioned to, rather than address the real issue of power and owning one's power and own authority and own self, and really valuing self and finding validation internally, women have been conditioned to the lie that says, seek it outside of yourself. Only someone else can give you what you need. And in truth, no. That is a lie. Why do you need somebody else to tell you that you matter? Every human being, every life force on this earth, within the cosmos, matters. It's all part of something. We're all part of something greater. We all have a role to play. We all have our own powers, our strengths, our divine gifts that are here, that are internal to us, and only we can manifest individually. But the lie is, oh, I need this person to tell me that I'm worthy. I need this person to tell me that, yes, I matter. I need this person to tell me it's okay to speak. I need this person to tell me, oh, it's okay to say XYZ, use my voice. Wow. That's some scary SHIT in caps. Want to know something else that women do when we compromise? Give from an empty well. Yes, running on fumes. When you keep giving. Have you ever asked yourself, Why am I running around helter skelter? Why do I have these crazy long ass lists where I'm doing all these different things for different people? I have a really difficult time saying no. You know what? That's an indicator right there that something's wrong. Something is out of alignment. Something needs to be fixed. So you got to put some fences back up, girl. When women compromise, they run on fumes. That whole superwoman complex, that whole thing. Yes, going back to it, because that's my culture. That's my background, originally from West Africa, Nigeria. Hey, got our issues, but gotta love the motherland. I never forget sitting as a child, listening to some of the women, at home talking. That woman, she's such a good woman. Oh my goodness. Do you know she stayed up till midnight cooking Christmas dinner? She went to work. She picked up their children. She helped them with their homework. She washed all their school uniforms. She fed her husband a completely new meal, excellent recipe. 2 hours to make that soup for her husband. Then she stayed up for her in-laws, cooking for her in-laws in preparation for Christmas till midnight. Is it just me, or is somebody saying that's crazy? Love your family, love your in-laws, by all means, love your fellow man. But love of others to the exclusion of self. There is something completely out of alignment there. It is a complete essential drain of self. There's no renewing. You can't give from a place of emptiness. You just can't. And if you're fighting and struggling to give, do, and you're pinning your importance, yourself, on all that you do for other people, other things, and other situations. Your boss, can you do this? Oh, I need you to do that. Oh, can you work overtime today? Oh, I need somebody to pick up hours here. And you can't say no? Yes, that's what happens when women compromise. What about last on the list? Yep. This all ties into being last on the list. Yeah, I mean, you got the kids, you got the husband or relationship or extended family. You've got, this charity you got to do work for, this group of people you couldn't say no, that friend you couldn't say no to, you helping out this, helping out Peter, Paul, Jane, Joanne, Adeyemi, Lola, all these people. And then at the end of the day, you're wondering why you're tired. You're wondering why you're depressed, why you're drained, while you feel like you're on that hamster wheel, going nowhere. There you go. So, what are we going to do to change all of that? Is this kind of clearing the mind a little bit? Identifying the condition, the problem here? If you're doing any of these things, this is what happens when women compromise. This is Tony with Freedom on the Crossroads, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure, helping you break free from that hamster wheel. Going nowhere. My sister, it's time to step up, take action, reclaim your power. And there's a way to do that. You don't have to feel like you're alone. You don't have to feel like you're adrift. It is doable. It is possible. It is possible. And you can do that right in the zone here at Freedom at the Crossroads. And join me online at freedomatthecrossroads.com, helping women everywhere look better, feel better without the pressure. You can find me on Instagram at Tonyataria Health on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter at Titaria Health. And as I always say, there's a difference between boundaries and barriers. Till next time, tune in. Enjoy. Bye-bye.